Hi, hi, everybody, and welcome to our show, Laws of Community.
Hello,
Welcome back to
hello.
those who have been here with us in the past, and welcome to those who are new to our show. We appreciate you for joining us, and this is our wonderful segment, Homeless to Home Free.
Yes, yes, it is that time of the month again. Oh Lord. I just realized
um,
what that sounds like. But yeah, it is the third Thursday again. So every third Thursday we do the specialty homeless to home free segment. And that was this man's wonderful
yep.
idea to do it every
And,
every third Thursday.
and for those of you who are new to our show, I am Ronald Raymond, and this is Hannah Sumrall.
Hello.
And we are your hosts, and uh, this week it's ultimately a really special week. This segment is super dear to my heart, and not only that, but this week specifically, uh, it is the first one of this year. As well as we are having a really special guest, Camille the fabulous Camille Robb, who is the founder of JFC for You charity, and she helps so many people in need that are in poverty. She helps so many kids all over the world get food, clothes, and popcorn, and their access to movies that we've mentioned with Johnny's popcorn and movies movement. And it is a phenomenal honor to have her here, especially to this week for me is a very special week coming up this weekend. Actually my birthday in the next few days, and this Saturday is the Global Vision Conference. So all together for me, this is a huge celebration of just life and love and everything to be able to share this with you guys. So thank you, Camille, for being here with us this week. It means a lot.
Thank you. Thank you so much for joining us, Camille. We're so
Oh, thank
excited
you
for
for
this episode.
inviting me. And happy birthday when it gets here. So we'll be able to
Thank you.
celebrate. Hey, happy
Yep.
birthday to you. We're gonna have a party this weekend. So you're gonna actually have a big celebration at the conference. Oh,
Yep. Yep.
This is going
It
to be
is
perfect.
absolutely a huge just it gives me so much energy. I drove for the last couple days, and yesterday I drove for I think like 14 hours. So,
whoa.
you know, it definitely given me some energy.
Haven't slept either. I kept thinking and thinking and thinking, and I'm like, stop thinking, go to sleep. But you know how that go. You're like a kid, all excited, can't wait. Because every time you go to the Global Vision Conference, there's something new that happens. I'm like, I can't wait to see what came up and what happened and what I missed. You know, that's how it works. You come, you see, you achieve. The next year you come, you see, you achieve. And it just keep going. So I'm excited about it.
I love that. I love that.
Absolutely. I'm super excited too, especially since this is our first one. It's such an honor to be able to be at this Global Vision Conference, to be speaking on stage. It is, once again, it's a dream come true for my 27th birthday. I'm able to speak on stage with some amazing people. Be able to spread some love to the world and to the children out there that need it. And, it is such a great opportunity. I mean, it's mind blowing. It really is.
Oh, you haven't seen anything yet. You wait until you get in there. Oh my God, it's gonna blow your mind.
See, what
It's gonna
I'm
blow your mind.
excited for is afterwards when I get to see all the smiles of the children that you go and bring all the proceeds to help feed
Oh,
and clothing and have their ability to see their first movie. That is going to be the greatest of it.
I'm excited. My husband said, "So
Absolutely.
where are we going next?" I said, "I'll tell you." He said, "You have to tell me now. I don't want to wait." I'm like, "Just wait. We'll wait. We wait." It just
I love
whenever
that.
you see it and experience it, it's priceless. It's priceless. the smiles, and then the eyes go. When you get that first taste of it, you be like, I don't know if I like this. Then it go, oh, and they're like, okay, can I get some more? That's price. That's priceless.
Absolutely. And speaking of which, you want to since you do all this for those in poverty, what is it that got you to really stem out there and reach out in the first place with your community and start doing this?
Well, I grew up in Jamaica, and when I was growing up in Jamaica, food at one time was a problem for me. And as a child, I had to figure it out. So that part of it was just in me, and it's like you can't shake it. And then when I migrate here at 18, I came into this country, and the same behavior that I used to see with my siblings when they were hungry, I was a teacher and I saw that in the classroom. And I was like,
Mhm.
what the heck is going on? This is America. People should not be hungry. I understand in the islands, sometimes it's hard to come up with what you need, but this is America. There's an abundance of food.
Yeah,
No one should be hungry. But unfortunately, in a classroom with 27 kids, you know, have you ever seen a movie called The Gremlin?
I've heard of it, but I haven't
Gremlin. Oh,
seen it.
you
I don't
have to
think.
go and watch it, and you'll see what I'm talking about. They're very cute and they're little, very
Oh,
fuzzy,
He's
oh,
gonna watch it. This
and
is
you
oh
this
touch
is
yeah.
the
you put
Actually,
greatest
I
peanut
do
movie
know what
butter
you're
ever.
on
talking
them,
about. I believe.
and they become these little. Yes, that was my 27 kids in my classroom. That's how they were.
Oh
They
man.
became so angry and hitting and biting
Oh,
on each other. I was trying to figure out what happened with them. And I realized they were doing the same behaviors that my siblings used to do. When they're hungry, they get upset because you have to feed the need. If I'm hungry, you have to feed me so my brain can relax and learn. If I'm hungry,
mhm.
there's not much learning you can do. That's how it
Yeah.
was. And I started, that's where I started. I was 18 years old, working in the daycare, and I started using my own money to buy food and I bring it in the classroom. I had to hide it because back then you couldn't
Oh wow.
feed. Oh yeah, you couldn't feed the people children. You get into trouble. You lose your job. And
Wow.
I decided that I'm not going to lose my job, so I didn't tell them. So what I
Yeah.
used to do, I used to make little bring the go to Walmart and I get little pancakes, those little silver-dollar pancakes and strawberries and blueberry and grapes, and I make a big fruit salad and cut it up real small so they can use their fingers and eat. Oh my God. That was I'll when they come in, I'll close the door and put my chair up underneath it. And when I put my chair up underneath the door, that means nobody come in and the kids them were waiting. And as soon as the plates go out, the kids then will hurry up and eat the food because we didn't want to get into trouble. And they'll take it and I take everything, put it back in my bag, and then I take it with me. But once those kids were fed, they were so calm. We would sing and the lesson plan would start. And I'm telling you, I had no trouble with my kids after that. The principal came in the classroom one year and asked me, what are you giving those kids? And I'm like, what do you mean? He said, yeah, because they're not making any sound and the other teacher wanted to know. I'm like, I'm not doing anything to them. I'm just loving on them. That's it. And the kids would be like, shh. Because I tell them, once we tell them, they're going to stop it. And the kids will not speak. They wouldn't speak about it. When they
You
go
were
out
the
and play and they
Superman of
come back,
teachers.
I would, and it was our secret because I was feeding
Yep.
them, making sure they were okay. I loved it. I had an amazing time. I had an amazing
That's
time.
beautiful. That's beautiful. Yeah, you were like a superhero. You're like superwoman of teachers going in there, and all the kids know your secret identity. You're the one who's supplying them with some snacks so they could actually have a good stomach and a good mind. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
I remember on the weekends I used to send home two bags, brown paper bags. One was orange and one was green. So We use Saturday and Sunday. So they could have a little snack. So I told the parents, I didn't tell the parents why I was giving it to kids. So because I didn't want them to think I was, they were bad parents. So I tell them, I said, we have a project that we're doing. And we're going to be doing the project for about 3 months. And every weekend when we send the food home, the only job I want you to do is to make sure they have that bag. That's it. And on
Oh wow.
Saturday is a green. So we're not only teaching them how to feed themselves, but we're teaching them the color. Saturday is green. So you cannot open up the orange bag because it's not
Budgeting.
right. So it's Saturday and
The
Sunday.
rationing.
Oh my God.
That's awesome.
And it was amazing. And the kids would tell you, well, I didn't get to eat mine because my brother so and so took it from me. So then you get the conversation going, trying to figure out, okay, so
Yeah.
this is what the people, and the kids, oh Lord, when you have a conversation with them, it's so funny when they tell you, this is what happened. Blah, 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 blah. They gave me hot dog and the hot dog didn't taste good. They gave me banana and it was rotten. And they tell you all kind of story. And I was like, okay. So my students would tell me exactly what they eat over the weekend. You don't, and who hit who, and the fight that happened at home. so, so I had a lot of secrets going on. And I used to laugh at when I used to come home. I used to go inside because at the time I was young, I was single. I used to go and look at myself in the mirror. I'm like, please, Father, don't let me have kids. And they have to go back to school and said I hit them or anything because you go to jail. But I was blessed that I didn't have to hit my children. All I had to do was just look at them and talk to them, and they were good. Because if I'm
Yeah,
paying
I
for
mean, and it,
anything, I take it away from you.
yeah, and I mean, and it goes a long way too when you show kids love and they don't want to necessarily do anything to rebel because you're already giving them everything that they're, looking for in that
Yes.
relationship, which is, awesome. And uh, you know, you you so so you went from doing that because of teaching. So how did you go about then actually creating your charity? Did you do it because you started in the school giving those bags and like somebody said, "Hey, maybe you should make a charity," or what sparked you
So
to
my husband and I have been feeding kids ever since I know him, and I've known my husband a long time. We've been married. Come in March the 12th, we've been married for 30 years. We've been 30 years we've been married for. So we've been
wow.
doing that. We have been feeding kids on our own. We just got our 501c3 in April last year.
Oh, wow. Congratulations.
So a lot of people think, oh, I know, no, we just receive it. We just got it because we
That's
wanted to
awesome.
make sure that we could make a difference. That's our whole thing. And the reason why we got it because people kept saying, if you have a 501c3, I can help you. We could donate and we could use it as a write up. Some people just lie. Okay, period.
Yeah.
They lie. I got it. I don't see where all this donation that they say they have, all the people, big timers. Oh, I'm glad you have your 501c3 now so I can donate and we can help more. Sure. No, they want to use your
And
501c3. Uh
yeah.
huh. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, and it's beautiful here to hear this side of things too, and to have our listeners hear it because it's some stuff you don't really think about as a lot of people. Myself, honestly, anytime I come across some sort of charity on Facebook or whatever, somebody's doing something on their birthday or whatnot. It's like a lot of these you don't know nowadays how much is legit online, but when you're somebody like
Mm.
yourself that goes and talks to these people and is actually building that reputation, it really damages when there's a lot of people that just they want to do it for the money, the greed side of part of it, and not actually really do the charity. They want to just look good or whatever it is, try to get some write off like you said.
And
um,
they do. But I always tell people, with or without you, my kids gonna be fed and they're gonna go to school. So hey, you want to be a part of it? Fine, but don't try to use
Absolutely.
me, okay? Because
Absolutely.
I will point you out. Don't try to use me. But on the other hand, when you think about it, for 20 over 25 years, my husband and I have been doing this, and we haven't hesitate. Sometime now, don't get me wrong. Now, my husband and I, sometimes we go into a position where we're like, oh my God, this is not going to help us. This is hard. And then I just say, you know what? I said, don't worry about it, baby. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. Because let me give you an example of what happened to us. We didn't have we have an exchange student program. So that one is where
That's
I
cool.
make my money from. So I have students from all over the world. So
Yeah.
right now I have
That's awesome.
kids from Saudi Arabia, I have Brazilians, I have China, kids from China, I have Peru, and here in Orlando. Now,
That's awesome.
just think about this. These guys' parents send them here, pay me to take care of them, put them into homes, provide the space that they need, the safety that they need. And at the same time, you have kids in those countries that would love to do that and cannot afford it. So
Yeah.
we help the kids that cannot afford it. We pay for them to go to
Wow.
school in their country. A lot of people don't know that I do this. Okay?
That's
They
awesome.
don't. So when I tell you I have kids all over the place that I send to school, I do. With one of my student, when the economy got real bad when we had the virus, all the countries shut down. Everything was shut
Yeah.
down. We had nothing coming in. But guess what? In the other countries, kids would still have to go to school and they still had to eat. So guess what I still had to do? I still had to take care of them. Where that money
Yep.
come from? That money come from us, what we saved and put aside and we use it.
Wow.
Because the money is not about the money. It's about making a difference in one person's life. If I can teach you how to help yourself, that means the next person come along, you can do the same thing. So each one teach one. But the problem with people who have the money, they don't want to go into their pocket and do that. They want to take from here, take from here, take from there, take from. They don't care about the kids. Why I care about the kids? Because I was one of those children. I faced that. I remember when I first came into this country, I was 18 years old and I wanted to go to school because my grandmother wanted a nurse. I said, well, how do I get that information? At the time, we didn't have the internet where we have quick access. We didn't have that. And nobody would help me. And I had to figure it out again on my own. And when I did figure it out, I was like, it's not easy and it's not hard. You just have to know where to go and how to go about doing it. And if you have somebody to guide you and help you the right way, then you won't have the stress. Because I was stressed. You see how I look now? Oh my God. When I was going to college, I was like a bullfrog. Why? Because I was stressed. I was so stressed
Yep.
out trying to figure all this stuff out. So you have to remember, if you can help somebody else's life be a little bit easier, trust me, yours, you won't have any problem with yours.
Absolutely. And with that being said, like that's, the one big thing that I'm going to be touching on when I speak on stage at the Global Vision Conference is the homeless youth. Is
Oh,
because that's when I became homeless, was right out of high school, was 1 month after high school. My brother told me, because I was hanging out with some homeless youth kids, that they they were the only people that treated me right. Everybody, when I grew up, like in school, I was the outcast of the outcasts. I would sit at the table of outcasts and I'd still get picked on. You know, I'd, and it's one of those things where I didn't fit into any clique. I didn't fit into any circle of anybody. And when I became homeless, or even right before I became homeless, I met some homeless kids, and I would go and hang out with them after school, or while I was going and looking for a job, I'd go and take a break and go and hang out with them for a bit. And so one day my brother called me up and was like, "Hey, what are you doing?" I'm like, "Hey, I'm hanging out with my friends." He's like, "What, your homeless friends?" I go, "Yeah." And he's like, "Well, you can go be homeless with them." And I was like, "All right." And I hung up. And he calls me back 5 minutes later and was like, "That's not what I wanted you to do. I wanted you to say, okay, I'll get a job, like I didn't want you to just be homeless. You don't, I'm not really kicking you out. You can come stay at my apartment still." And I was like, "No, you told me I'm kicked out
Mm.
just because I'm hanging out with my friends. I was looking for a job earlier. So the fact that you tell me I'm kicked out, I'm kicked out. I'm not going to argue with you." So I went and as soon as like I was out there, I met this dude who was hopping on a freight train to go to San Francisco. And so for 2 weeks, I was still in my hometown in Portland, Oregon, and we ended up waiting for a couple days trying to find the right train, going slow enough so it wasn't so dangerous to hop on. And we find one and get out of town. And so I ended up traveling on and off and going back and getting a job. But every time I'd become homeless, I always knew that I would have somewhere to be, somewhere where I would feel safe, because the people that I met, the people that I was around on the streets, they were, you know, really kind to me for the most part. A lot of them really troubled, or like they just, they ran away from home and their families were traumatizing to them, abusive or neglectful, or kicked them out at a teenage year. It's like, man, why, you know, are these parents feeling like they have to kick their kids out when they're 14 years old? It makes no sense. So, like I really, it to me, it's a really big, it's a really big, uh, you know, thing to me, knowing that there's people out there like you who care so much about these kids, and do so much to help them so they can be on a good path and a good, have a good life and good education, because there's so many of these families out there that don't do it for their children, and so many of these kids out there that get caught up in the wrong crowds, get caught up in
Mm-hmm.
drugs, get caught up in all those things. I did drugs when I was traveling and homeless, and I'm lucky I didn't get addicted to any. Like I am so thankful that I didn't get addicted to the drugs that I did, because some of them are really really bad. And it's sad because I've watched friends uh go in and out of their addictions, go in and out of these cycles. I've uh in the last couple of years I've lost a couple friends that, because they were depressed and homeless or on drugs, they ended up, uh, one of them got found on the side of a road, completely buck naked. It's like, and it's really sad because a lot of it just stems from childhood. It stems from childhood trauma, from a bad home, and a bad situation where they're not able to be in the right education or the right community that loves them and cares about them. So it's beautiful. It really means a lot to be able to actually meet you in person this weekend and speak with you, and to share this episode with you tonight. So thank you.
You're welcome. But you know what? When you try to do things a certain way, you get a red flag. Because
Hmm.
I experience it. I experienced. I've never spoken about it before because you have family, when you speak certain stuff, they all get all tied up in a knot. And why are you talking about that? Why are you because it happened to me. You don't
Yep.
like it, don't watch it. Period. Okay? I'm not going to. If somebody asks me a question, I will tell. If you don't ask, I'm not going to tell. I experienced it. And why? Because of the situation I was with. I was living with my dad, but at the same time, he was married to somebody that was not my mother, and she did not like me. And I'm working, and she hated my guts. And no matter what I do, it was never right. I just imagine you're working two jobs, right? I would work in the
Yeah.
daycare center and I would work in at McDonald's. Yes, people.
Wow.
Fabulous used to work at McDonald's too. Because I know this going to come back and say, "Oh, you worked at McDonald's?" Yes, I did. I worked at McDonald's. I worked at a daycare center. I worked at Disney. I worked at Universal Studio. Yes.
Wow. That's
Yes,
awesome.
I was always working. I work at Florida Manor Hospital. Yes, I was always working. But the problem when you're working as a young person and you're coming home and said, okay, this is a home. I'm going into my room. I'm going to lay down. I'm going to go sleep because I have only 4 hours to sleep. And so I have to get up. And your door get kicked down and a fight
Oh
want to
wow.
start. Now, I was told, if you hit me, step back, make sure there's nobody else around, make sure your back is against the wall, and you swing. My grandmother taught me that.
It's a good
Nobody
grandma.
beats up on me. Okay, that's my grandma because my grandma said, I will walk a mile and beat you behind for my daughter. Okay, because she used to call me her
That's
baby girl,
awesome.
her fabulous baby. Okay, and I don't have a problem. But when you're going to torment me and torture me, why should I come home? That's not a home, that's
Yeah.
a house.
Yeah.
There's a difference between a home and a house. A house is where everybody lives. A home is where a family lives.
Yep.
I'm not my daughter, my son. I would never kick them out of the house. My kids them beg to leave. Okay, we're old enough, mom. We're old enough. It's okay. I made sure when my children left, they had what they need for themselves. We all have to grow through some things to get where we need to go, but you should not put out your young, especially if they're working and trying to make things
Yep.
work. You're working, going to school. Come on. Why am I going to throw you out? I remember I get a phone call from a friend of mine. She said, I need your help. I'm like, every time she called me, it's like some kid needs something. And I immediately I felt the pain in my stomach. I said, okay, what's going on? She said, I have an 18-year-old that our mother, her own mother that gave birth to her, left her. She went to school, came back home the Friday, and there was nobody at the house.
Wow.
Come on now. Smart, but she's 18.
Yeah.
My son came home one day from school with a young lady. I was like, who is she and why is she here? Mom, her mother kicked her out. I said, she's 16 years old. Where is she going to go? Can you help her? No, I can't help her. I can't help everybody. Mom, she's my friend. And me? Mom said, oh, yeah, sure. That's what we do as mom. That's why I said the other day when people asked me why I was crying and why I was doing that, when it comes to my kids, don't mess with me and my children. I will cut you.
Yeah.
Okay? The smile that you see on his beautiful face will stay there. But if you mess with my children, you will get hurt. Not every child that is out there in the world that I gave birth to. I have two children. My daughter, Monique Robb, my son, Albert Robb. My daughter is 28 and my son is 24. If they
Wow.
call me and tell me somebody have hurt them, I am going to find you. That's just me. If any one of my students call me,
Hmm.
Mom, I need help, I am going to go and help them because that's who I am. Don't
That's
use
awesome.
my children. Don't mess with my children. I had a lady say, well, you didn't give birth to that one. Honey, there's a lot of moms out there that did not give birth to children. Just remember that. You don't have to give birth to love a child. That should be unconditional. You shouldn't hesitate for that.
Absolutely.
So when you have a young person, you're going to kick them out and they're doing the right thing. That's bull. Okay.
Yeah.
One of my student, he's in Congo. The same thing. There's different circumstances that happen. With him, it was different. He lost his mom and he lost his dad. He needed help to go to school. And my husband and I said, okay, we're going to help him. He was sleeping on people's floors just so he wouldn't be
Wow.
outside. And we helped
Yeah.
him. We got him his own room. We got him
That's
everything that
awesome.
he need to learn. And we sent him to school for 3 years.
Wow.
Can you imagine that one
That is
kid got
awesome.
the education he needed and he went to school?
Yeah.
And that's why we do what we do. It's simple, just helping somebody else, being an advocate for somebody else, being a vessel, being a carrier, however you want to say it. It's just helping someone else. It
Absolutely.
makes a
And oh yeah, absolutely. And from that note, I would like to bring it into the more about the movies and popcorn and
difference.
the Global
Fun
Vision
stuff.
Conference to wrap it off for the last couple minutes. Uh, so I see that you're going to be in Sri Lanka for your next uh,
Yeah.
event to help the
Yes,
kids.
Johnny was not supposed to say anything yet, but he's like, Johnny's like a 9-year-old boy. I swear, every time I see him, I see that 9-year-old in him. I don't see Johnny as a big grown man. I see him as a 9-year-old boy because that he's like, okay, where we going? Where we going? Where we going? I said, well, with the crisis and stuff that's going on in Sri Lanka, I have a student that I send to school. She is the most unique and beautiful. Aliza, mwah, mwah, mwah. I love you, baby. Because she watches everything. She follows and watch everything that I. But
That's awesome.
she just got an award for having English as her first language.
Oh,
Did you hear what I
wow.
said? English. She speaks 6 different language, and English is one of her main language. Not even her own language. She did not say because she has the thing about learning, studying. So imagine if I didn't help her.
Yeah, for
She's
real.
very smart. She's a very smart little girl. And I want to bring popcorn to her community because there's certain places in Sri Lanka that the kids don't get that extra loving you know, and I want to go and I want to go and love on them. Let me say, I don't want to. I'm going to love on them. I'm going to bring food. We're going to bring some clothing. We're going to bring popcorn and a movie. And we're going to have as a matter of fact, my husband just surprised me yesterday. He brought me a screen. So I have my own projector screen now. And he bought me the
Oh,
projector,
wow.
everything.
That's
He bought the
awesome.
whole kit.
Wow.
He bought the whole kit and he brought it home. He said, come on, I got something for you. I'm like, what is it? And he brought it. I was like, what's that? He said, you said you're planning on traveling and you want to have your own screen and your own projector and everything. I'm like, yeah. And he's like, well, it's yours. I was like, oh my God.
That's awesome. That's so exciting.
Big screen going and the movie going. And we got the popcorn.
Oh, I don't know if it's just on my screen. Oh, it looks like you are frozen. Oh,
Uh-oh.
oh,
Not sure what happened there.
uh-oh. I think
We
we
can go
lost
ahead
Camille
and
for a second.
yeah, well, we can go ahead and introduce the Global Vision Conference while she reconnects to um,
Yeah.
say her last
Oh,
bit.
yeah, it looks like either it died, like her service died or something. Um, so yeah, if you wanna make a mention real quick.
So yeah, the movies and popcorn goes connects back to our event that is happening, or not our event, Johnny's event that is happening this weekend, which is the Global Vision Conference, and that is going to be at the Greater Fort Lauderdale Broward County Convention Center here in Florida, where we have traveled to now, starting at 10 a.m. on Saturday, ending at 5 p.m. Eastern. And yeah, it's going to be an amazing day of vision and celebrating women of vision specifically. You can also watch live, and hopefully we'll be sharing that with you. You can go get your ticket to get the live stream link sent directly to you, or visit us in person. You can do that at globalvisionconference.com. And yeah, there's going to be um, a lot of amazing people that are going to be attending there. Actually, I want to show that again and talk about just a couple of people. So we obviously have the amazing Camille in the middle, because it's all about her raising the ticket money. When you go in there, you'll see it's a direct donation link immediately, and that all goes to feeding, or not feeding, but yeah, feeding the kids, getting them the popcorn while they watch that movie with her. And that is so amazing that she has an actual screen to show now, because I don't know if we played the video, right? Back
Yeah,
on
we
the
did.
first episode, and that was definitely very powerful. But yeah, the amazing Blanca will be there as well, and Caroline, who we've had on. Yari is also going to be there, and Johnny. Um, all of our amazing past guests, and it's going to be so powerful. And I
And
believe,
isn't where's Khalil? Wasn't she on this picture before as well? Last time I saw it.
I'm not sure.
But
I don't know what happened, guys.
well, we're glad you're
No
back at
worries.
least. So
I don't know what happened. It's like all of a sudden everything just went dark. I was like, okay, this is supposed to be a party and somebody's gonna turn on the lights. I don't know what
dang.
happened.
No worries. No worries. Yeah, we were just going over the Global Vision Conference. And yeah, if you want to take it away and say anything about the event on Saturday.
Well, one thing I've learned with the event is that you have to be there to experience that tingling that you get in your stomach, and in the back of your neck, all the hair standing up, and it's like, oh my God, what's gonna happen next? So you have one person that says, I'm gonna write a book. The next time you come, the book is done, and they have the book in their hand. I'm like, okay. You have one person that said, okay, I'm gonna be traveling here. Next thing you know, to come back, they've been to 4 different countries. It's a different feeling that you get. And then we're gonna have Blanca that's gonna be speaking. We have, of course, you'll hear from the seed man. Everybody's calling my husband a seed man now. He told Johnny, he said, the first one we went when we went to Sunapana Island, he said, this place is too small. You guys, next year we'll be somewhere bigger. Sure enough, went to a bigger venue. Then he said, this is still too small. We're gonna go to a bigger venue. So every time you come, it get bigger and bigger. And the love in the room, people keep thinking all kind of thoughts, but it's the love that brings us together, and we make a difference. It's just amazing. The hugs, the laughter, and then people who surprise you, people who looking at you like, oh, you're back. Oh yeah, I'm not going anywhere. I am going to bring education, food, clothes, and shelter, and popcorn in the movie. And we're going to party, and we're going to eat, we're going to have fun, and we're going to do some loving on them kids. That's what we do. Simple. That's it. That's it.
That's awesome.
And we're going to celebrate
Hey,
Rana's birthday.
Yeah.
Hey!
I'm ready.
Yeah.
I am ready. I've already decided that I'm gonna just play a different happy birthday song on YouTube every hour on his actual birthday on Monday.
Oh, that's going to be cool. I'll be right there.
Yes,
Let's
I
do
love
it.
that
Let's
response.
do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. That's going to be amazing. Let's do it.
That's gonna be on the actual day of his birthday on Monday when we're driving again.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm gonna be
wow.
driving again for another like 14 hours.
It's
On his
okay.
actual
It's okay.
birthday.
It's
Hey,
okay.
I think it's great because I'm celebrating it with all of you guys for the
Oh,
weekend.
we're gonna
So
have a party. As a matter of fact, after the event, we're gonna have a celebration. Let's go celebrate. Let's go. As a matter of fact, I'll
absolutely.
Yes.
stop and pick up a cake. Let's do it. Let's do it,
Oh
Ronald.
my
Let's
gosh,
pick up a
Absolutely.
yes.
cake. I'm
It's
gonna pick
gonna
up
be
a cake, and
amazing.
somebody else can pick up something
Oh,
else, and we have a big birthday party, and we can go to Drax. There you go. Drax, we're coming. Probably about 60 of us.
yes.
You,
Yes,
and we're
Yes.
gonna
Victor.
have a party at your place.
That'd be
All
We can
right.
exciting.
just get
Yes. Drastics from a
musicians.
birthday meal. That's so great.
Let's
We
go.
definitely got to see him before we head out.
Let's go.
Thank you
Let's go.
so
Let's
much for
go.
joining us,
Yeah,
Camille.
thank you so much.
This has been an amazing episode, and we are so excited for this weekend. We can't wait to meet you in person. It's gonna be amazing.
Exactly. It's gonna be a fabulous moment. We're just gonna enjoy each
Absolutely.
other, and we're gonna just enjoy each other. And you,
Well,
in
thank
the
you so
next year when
much.
you come, you're gonna remember this moment. I remember seeing her, and then she was in person. It was like, whoa, this is what you get. What you see here, when you see it on Saturday, this is what you get.
Well, I'm excited because, like I said on the last summit, every time I'm looking forward to those summits because people like you with that big old smile on your face every time I see you. So yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
my
excited to
grandmother
finally see
said.
that smile in person.
My grandmother said, "The smile on your face do not belong to you, so you make sure you wear it so everybody can see it."
Oh,
And I've been doing that
Wow.
ever since I was a child.
your grandma sounds
I
like
love
she was
that.
the most amazing
Oh
grandma.
my God, she
So
was so
empowering.
amazing. She was, I mean, she was such a beautiful angel. Was a beautiful angel. She did. She's the one who got me doing all this. It was her. When we were
That's
home,
beautiful.
I mean, when we were with when I was with my grandmother, my grandma would feed hundreds of people. Okay, her
Wow.
pot didn't have a bottom. She would put a big pot on, and every time she scoop up, you hear her praying and singing. And I'm like, where is all these people coming from? Huh? When I was a little girl, I'm like, where are these people coming from? Because at one time I thought these were all my brothers and sisters. And it so
Wow.
happened that when I came here and I got on my own feet and I got strong and I got married, then I started my own daycare at home. And I did the same thing. I had kids in my
Wow.
house, and my daughter, my son thought, hey, those are my brothers and sisters. So it's a tradition.
Makes sense.
That's
Makes
It's a
awesome.
sense.
tradition.
That's
So I
beautiful.
blame my grandmother. It's her fault.
Yeah, I mean, I had a babysitter for the first 5 years of my life, and I definitely consider her kids to be a brother and sister to me. That's for sure.
Right. Especially if she was the type of person that treats you the same way she treat her kids.
Mm,
Right?
You'll never forget that. And I'm that
absolutely.
person. I've always taken care of children and adults all my life. The first time ever that my husband and I were with just us two was November the 1st to January the 5th. We have never experienced that before because we have always had
Wow.
somebody we were taking care of.
Wow.
And I just realized that I have to give my husband a lot of credit because half of the time I'm off somewhere taking care of a kid over here, off somewhere taking care of a grown up over here, and here he is at home trying to figure out where's my wife and when she's coming home.
Oh my goodness.
But he knows that's me. There's nothing you could do about it than just love me because that's who I am. I'm a servant
Oh,
leader.
That's
that's
awesome.
beautiful.
We forgot that we are our brother keepers. Okay, we forget that, and people they don't believe in that stuff anymore. We are our brothers and sisters keeper. And if the world
Yeah.
would take time out and learn that, some country you go to right now, you can't do anything on your own. There's always somebody to help
Yeah.
you. But in the United States, we are so caught up.
Yeah, we're
We're
told that
so
we
caught
have to
up.
do everything ourselves or that we have it in us to do it alone, but that gives us a sort of sense of like deception in that sense because then we feel like we have to do everything alone when we're told that, so um
And you
A
shouldn't,
lot of people don't
especially if
really
you're
know
a
where to
child.
look, or yeah,
Especially if you're a child, you shouldn't have to try to figure it out. This is what
yeah,
grown-ups are made to do. They're made to help you to transition into the next step of life. You know,
yep,
5 to 7, let's transition you over to the next level. You know, you become 9 and 12. Let's transition you over to the teenage area. And then when you get in the teenage area, and so do you know that your brain is not fully developed until you're 26 years old?
I believe
Okay.
it.
I'll let you think about that.
I believe
How
it.
many how many how many of you know that you cannot rent a car until you're 25?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
I remember having issues
unless
with
you have
that before.
a good credit card.
Unless you go, and that's a risk you take it.
Yep.
But for real though, your brain is not fully developed until you reach 26. Just think about
Yeah.
it. Just think about it. You come back and
No.
ask me again. You look it up.
And I'm 24, so
You're still
I'm
learning.
27 on Monday.
So you
So
you
yeah,
I'm
still
about
you
to be
still
fully developed.
right.
he's apparently done.
Now you could say you're grown.
I'm grown.
Now you can
I
say
don't
I'm
know.
grown.
Mm-mm. I won't. No, I don't. Mm-mm.
My daughter is having a problem with that. She's like, I don't want to be grown, mom. I don't want to. I said, yes, you do. You're 28. You passed that stage. She said, I don't care.
I'm
My
Peter
son,
Pan.
he's 24. So he's like, Mom, man. I say, yep, 2 more years. You stay on my insurance. After that, boop, you're gone. You're paying for your own insurance. He's like, but mom, when my, when I stopped paying for my daughter's insurance when she turned 26, she said, this is not fair. No, this is not fair. I don't like this, mom. I said, well, I'm so sorry. The insurance said it's time for you to pay for your own insurance. She's like, but I don't want to. But
No,
the things that you learn, you could teach.
absolutely.
Always remember, we're
Absolutely.
always teaching. We are always teaching each other.
Yep.
Always have an open mind
Absolutely.
and a loving heart. And just go out and make a difference in somebody else's life and watch how yours is going to grow.
I love that.
Beautiful.
I love it.
Well,
I
I
had fun.
I think
well,
that's thank you. I think that's the perfect thing to sign off with. Like you are the
yeah, it really
fabulous
is.
Camille Rob.
Thank you.
All right, Camille,
Thank
we will
you.
definitely be catching up with you on Saturday. We'll
Let
see
the
you
party
then.
begin, Ronald.
Yes.
Thank you,
Yes, so
Yes,
guys.
excited. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for inviting me. I had fun.
I'm
I
glad.
had fun.
definitely. Same
I
here.
Same.
had
We'll
fun.
see you then.
All right.
Yeah.
Bye, Camille.
Bye.
Well, I think we've probably gone on long enough. We'll be
Yeah,
back
we've
next
gone way
week.
longer than we normally do.
We'll be back next
Uh,
week. Don't you guys worry. For the self love segment is next week because it's the last Thursday of the month. Next month is going to be a little bit weird though because we're going to have Homeless to Home Free and then another something and then self love. So yeah, because there's 5 weeks. So yeah, we do have that.
yeah.
Anything
So,
else?
but no, I was just gonna say thank you everybody for showing up today
Yes.
and
Oh my
viewing us.
goodness.
Uh, thank you, thank you so much, Camille, for being here today, and thank you any of those who are deciding now after watching our show to view the Global Vision Conference this Saturday. In order to view it virtually, if you are not in the Florida area, you can go onto the Global Vision Conference website, and down below at the bottom, I think it's actually on. I think it's not at the bottom anymore. Isn't it more towards the top now on the page? Anyways, either way,
It's like all
there's
over the
a
page now. You can find it.
okay. Well,
Anyone can find it.
there's
You keep
absolutely
scrolling.
yep. There's absolutely a link there for you to get your ticket. It is a $27.77 donation. All the proceeds, as stated before, go to Camille's charity, which will be helping all the children that she helps to be able to see movies, get some popcorn, some food, and some clothing, and help her be able to put some more kids in school and stuff like that. So, it definitely um, definitely is an honor to be able to be a part of this, and we definitely thank you guys for joining us.
Yes,
So
yes. Quick audio shout outs. Thank you to Naomi, um, my mom, Penny Sumrall, and Johnny Regan. And I know Yari was on and Blanca was on. And thank you to anyone else who was on. Oh, yes, Dina was on as
thank you
well.
all.
Thank you, everybody.
It's
We love you
awesome.
guys.
Thank you guys. Yep. Love you guys.
All
See you
right.
next week.
See you next week. Bye.